Darren Kelly, first of all, a big congratulations on becoming the new manager of Halifax Town. Just how much are you looking forward to the role?
To be honest, I'm really grateful for the opportunity. I can't thank the board enough for giving me this opportunity. And to be honest, we're under no illusions. Obviously, the task ahead, I think the first and foremost important task is to get us up that league as high as possible. But to be honest, I think through what we do over the coming weeks and months, that'll happen absolutely no problem at all.
Obviously, it was about a month ago when you were the Oldham athletic manager. Just what's that month been like where you've been unemployed and looking for work?
Do you know what? It's one of those. It's been good in a way because you know what, you reflect a lot. In the tenure at Oldham, you tend to reflect a lot. What things you would take forward, what things you can improve on. Do you know what? From a reflective point of view, it's been good, and I'm just such a very positive person. Detest negativity, so I try to see the brighter things in life. But for me now, that's in the past. It's about moving on to the future and taking this club forward where I believe it rightly belongs. And
looking at Halifax Town, obviously, you're playing in a ground like the Shea. The facilities are there for it to be a Football League team again.
Absolutely. When I was at York as a player, and even though I've been to a few of the games as well, when I was there at York as a player, this place was bouncing. It's a sleeping giant. I've been here where the supporters have. It's just been so busy and lively, and that's what I want to bring back. At the end of the day, I want to play a style that's attractive to watch, that gets bums on seats, because it's very important. At the end of the day, in order for us to be successful, the players got to have the belief in what we're doing. We all got to buy into the one thing that we're trying to do, and that's being obviously successful. And I've absolutely no doubt with the opportunity that I've been given here that we can do that.
And obviously, you have quite a bit of non-league experience in your playing days.
Yeah, that's it. I'm under no illusions. Don't get me wrong; it's not an easy league. I know that and I understand that. But again, when you look at a club of this size, and it's one of those where, to be honest, personally, I think I know it needs to get out of this league. So it's. For me, as I chat with the players last night, I told them obviously it's a clean slate, what's expected of them, because there's a lot of quality in there. And as we go forward, it's them players that, they got to step up to the mark, because at the end of the day, it's a ruthless business. And for me, in terms of the environment that I want to create, if players aren't, putting in the performances or aren't working for the team, they'll be left behind, because at the end of the day, we can't leave passengers there. We've got to crack on, and we've got to get up that league as high as possible.
And in terms of when you actually start, is it a case that you will be on the dugout tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, as I say, I started yesterday, so I was able to go and watch a bit of training last night. But I like it tomorrow. Steve will still be picking the team and that, but I'll be there with him, just going to through everything, because I wasn't able to work with the players or anything this week. Steve's been very hands-on. He's been very good over the last few weeks, So effectively from next week, it'll be over to me, training ground and things like that, because I'm very hands-on on the training ground in terms of, sessions and shape and things like that. So, yeah, unfortunately couldn't get doing it this week, but it's something obviously we'll be cracking on with next week.
And looking at your coaching staff, Jim Harvey joins you. Again, someone with a lot of experience in terms of the management side at non-league football.
Yeah, Jim's been fantastic. I brought Jim in with me at Oldham as well. Jim, he's 40-odd years experience in the game. As I say, we get on very well. We click very well. We're similar mindsets in terms of we're positive people. We talk a lot about the game. Jim's got the experience, everything to back it up. I think we complement each other in terms of my modern day thinking ideas and Jim's experience and everything. Yeah, as I say, we complement each other very well. And as I say, I've no doubt what we bring to the table, we can get the club up that league as high as possible.
I was going to say, just what have you seen of Halifax Town in the last couple of months?
Yeah, well, the last game I went to was Southport. To be honest, it wasn't. I'm not going to hide behind anything. It wasn't the best performance in the world. I know the players are better than that, but you also have to take into the consideration. Maybe with a lack of wins or the losses that they've had or whatever. The confidence is a bit low. You can see the players are more than capable. So, it's up to myself and Jim to bring that belief back in, and that could be managing the players on a one-to-one basis, but also in training and in games. Because the thing about it, you get one win that can go on to two. You start to install them little bits of confidence. And the next thing then, you get 4 or 5 wins, the whole thing changes, confidence is high, and then you're starting to talk about the playoffs. It's just a funny game the way it happens, but ultimately not looking too far past tomorrow. If we go in tomorrow against, good quality opposition and get 3 points, it'll be absolutely brilliant.
And looking at the National League, it really is the case. There are a couple of giants in there who have got so much Football League experience, the likes of Cheltenham Town, the likes of Tranmere Rovers. So it really is a tough league. Yeah,
it is a tough league. I think, to be honest, it's probably get harder since I left it from a playing point of view. But you know what? Again, Halifax is a big club. It's right up there, and that's what we got to awaken. We got to get the players performing, and we got to get the supporters out to support the team. We got to put bums on seats. We got to play a style of football that, if you look at husbands, fathers want to take their kids to. And a Saturday, it's important we try and create that, and it all goes from creating good positive football and getting the end product, which is results.
And you're joining the non-league community once again, and one of them days coming up which shows the community is Non-League Day. Just how glad are you that you'll be a manager for that day next Saturday?
Yeah, well, that's the thing, You look at to be honest, I'm still in cloud nine with the whole thing, to be honest with you. And the fact that I'm so grateful to be given an opportunity at such a great club. And what I want to do now is do the club proud, do the supporters proud, and get create success, and through that, we create good performances. It creates good results. It creates us getting higher in the league, which creates good positions, which creates results in terms of promotions, and I believe we can do that.
And looking at the playing staff, you've said it's a clean slate. Is it going to be a case then everyone's got a chance? And are you looking at bringing anyone else in?
Again, that's something, I haven't talked about that. But, again, giving the players the opportunity, I have spoken to, quite a few people already. Things are there ready to go. Should I, be given the approval to do so. But I think the most important thing is, as I said to the players, it's a clean slate. Go and show your worth, because the facts of the matter are, if you're outperforming, giving your all, that's all you can ask. But if you're not performing and you're not putting the shift in, you'll be left behind, because we haven't got the time, to be wasting where players are underperforming, not putting in the effort, not working hard for the team. Because, as I say, it's such a fine line where if we create a couple of wins, we could be right up there. It's still early days, while, to be honest, if you get a couple of losses, it goes the other way. So it's important we think of the positive side of the game, where we're thinking a couple of wins, we're going to get ourselves high up there and challenge. And
just how much are you looking forward to being a manager at the Shea Stadium, where a lot of fans will be making a lot of noise tomorrow?
Oh, it'll be absolutely amazing. As I said before, I'm one of the club's third manager. So, from that point of view, it's very good. And, the only thing that I ask is, the supporters continue to get behind their team, because I was here, as I say, for the Southport game. The supporters get behind the team, and I think that's important. But, you look at the 12th man to go and play, and that's what you want the supporters to be, to get behind the team, to support the team, to roar the team to victory. And I think it's crucial.
And obviously at Oldham, you were only given a couple of games in charge. Well, at Halifax, as you've alluded to, you do get the history, as you do get a couple of seasons. You must be glad that you'll be able to implement your philosophy that way.
Absolutely, because I know it will work. I know what I'm trying to do, and especially with Jim with me as well, I know it will work. And at the end of the day, you look at what we can bring to the table. It will work, and here, given the opportunity to do that and given the time to do that, I've absolutely no doubt whatsoever it will pay off.
So Darren, finally, just what would you say the aims are in terms of the season ahead?
Well, I think the short term, from a psychological point of view, is get away from that second from bottom position that we're in, and get as many wins as we can, and get up that league as quickly and effectively as we can.